Hello Year 3. Today's lesson is a problem solving lesson. But before we look at today's task, I have put 5 numbers on the board. 7, 5, 8, 2, 6. And I want to give you a few minutes to see if you can use those numbers to make 64. Maybe you can find more than one way to make 64. But do your best to see if you can make 64 or get as close as you can to 64. Maybe give yourself 5 minutes and see if you can find a way to make 64 or more than one way to make 64 or get as close as you can to 64. Remember, using just those numbers and only use those numbers once each time. Have a go and see if you can do it. Welcome back, Year 3. Well done if you managed to solve that task. I have one way on the board, but I'm sure maybe you found more than one. A tricky sum, so maybe some people might have used their diary at times, but 8 times 7 is 56. Add 6 is 62. Add 2 is 64. So I used 8, 7, 6 and 2. Well done if you managed to do that or got quite close to 64. I can't quite remember if we've attempted this task in class before, but if we have, I'm pretty sure nobody managed to solve the problem, but we'll see if anybody can do it today. This is Dress Addy, it's called. Addy is the name of this mouse, I believe. And Addy has a red hat, a yellow hat, and a blue hat. And he has a red t-shirt, a yellow t-shirt, and a blue t-shirt, and red shorts, yellow shorts, and blue shorts. So those are the items of clothing that he has. And your task is to find as many different ways to dress him as possible. Now, the sheets are printed for you. They're on the answers are on the second sheet. So please just print sheet number 1 to begin with. Do your best to have a go for 20 or 25 minutes. See how many ways you can find. And then you can always check your answers after and find out the ones that you were maybe missing. But do try and attempt the task without looking at the answers to start with. How many different ways can you dress the mouse with different colour hat, top and shorts? And the key is not to repeat the same one. Once you've put red, yellow, blue, make sure you don't put red, yellow, blue again. So you have to check very carefully. I will give you one clue. The way to solve these problems is to have a very clear method all the way through. And what I would do, I would start with a red hat. And I would find every single way I could dress Addy with a red hat. Whether that is yellow top and blue shorts or red top and blue shorts. But every way I can find with Addy wearing a red hat. And then once I've done that, I would change to maybe a blue hat and find every way I can find with Addy wearing a blue hat. And I think that's a really good way to make sure you aren't repeating yourself. Remember, Addy can have 2 items of clothing the same. So I'm drawing Addy with a blue t-shirt and blue shorts. That's fine. So you can have more than one colour at the same time. Just don't repeat the exact same clothing twice. So you have to check very carefully. That is how I would do it. Start with a certain colour on the hat and then find every way you can dress Addy with that colour hat and then change to a different colour hat. Do your best, see how many you can find. I think everybody should be able to find 15 different ways. And the answer is 27. There are 27 in total. So see how close you can get to 27. I look forward to seeing your answers. I will be available on Google Meet if you'd like to ask me any questions.